Hi everyone, I'm very happy to welcome you all to Dr. JJ's Virtual Academy of Commerce. Through this video, I'm going to discuss with you the method to be followed in the preparation of cash flow statement as per Indian Accounting Standard 3 using a practical problem wherein we find balance sheets of a company given for 2 consecutive years. In this problem, we will prepare the cash flow statement under indirect method. Let us get into the details of the problem. From the following balance sheets of A Limited, prepare a cash flow statement as per Accounting Standard 3 under indirect method. The balance sheets are given for 2 years ending on 31st December 2017 and on 31st December 2018. So obviously 2018 is the current year. Let us look at the details of the liabilities: share capital, profit and loss account, loan from bank, creditors, outstanding expenses, bills payable, loan from a financial corporation. So among these items, you could see the loan from financial corporation and loan from bank are non-current liabilities, whereas creditors, outstanding expenses and bills payable are current liabilities. In share capital also you find an increase to the tune of 25,000 rupees, which is nothing but issue of shares taken place during the current year 2018. Then let's get into the details of assets. Buildings and plant, these 2 are fixed assets or non-current assets, whereas the remaining 4 items are current assets. Obviously, among the 4 items of current assets, we will choose only the 3 named stock, debtor and prepaid expenses and do necessary adjustment with the adjusted profit before working capital changes in order to calculate the cash flow from operating activities. Obviously, the opening cash balance and closing cash balance will be taken over to cash flow statement and necessary adjustment will be done over there when we close the cash flow statement according to Indian Accounting Standard 3. Now what about the additional information given here? Net profit for the year amounted 60,000 rupees. This is for the current year. So when we are given with the opening and closing balances of a profit in the balance sheet, let us not worry about the profit which is given in the additional information. It is to be done with the assumption that this particular amount would have been incorporated with the balance of profit presented in the balance sheet. That's an assumption. So during the year, a plant costing 25,000 rupees, accumulated depreciation thereon amounted 10,000 rupees, was sold for 13,000 rupees. Therefore, from the plant costing 25,000, if they have accumulated depreciation 10,000, the book value of the plant and the date of sale would have been 15,000 rupees, but it is sold only for 13,000. Therefore, the company has incurred a loss of 2,000 rupees in the transaction of sale of a portion of a plant. Then provision for depreciation, opening and closing balances are given on 31/12/2017 and the other one is on 31/12/2018. Now let's straightly get into the preparation of relevant ledger accounts, followed by we will continue to prepare the cash flow statement. When we speak about the ledger account, which is the first ledger account to be opened, since you find no item which is presented in the liability side of the balance sheet requires a separate ledger account, look at it, because these 2 non-current liabilities don't require any sort of ledger account, because the increase or decrease in their values could be directly recorded in the cash flow statement that we will discuss in detail later. Share capital, similarly, it doesn't require a separate ledger account. Therefore, let's get into the details of the assets. We have 2 non-current assets. When we speak about building, there is an increase in the value of building, which simply stands for purchase of building. Therefore, you don't require to open a separate ledger account for building also. What about the other one? Plant. Plant has got a separate provision for depreciation account. Therefore, it is wise to open provision for depreciation on plant account first. Fine. That's what I have done here. Provision for depreciation on plant account. This is being a credit item. Let us write the opening balance in the credit side and closing balance in the debit side. That's what done here. Fine. Followed by let us look at the additional information presented in connection with the provision for depreciation. What is that? A plan costing 25,000 rupees, accumulated depreciation thereon 10,000 rupees, sold for 13,000 rupees. To clearly understand this particular transaction, look at the journal entry what I have written. When the plant is sold for 13,000, what is that we receive? We receive cash amount at 13,000. So cash account at 13,000. Then the moment a fixed asset on which provision for depreciation is maintained is disposed of, the concerned provision for depreciation account should also be closed. So in this problem, what is the plant sold? A plant costing 25,000 sold. At the time of sale of the plant, the accumulated depreciation thereon was 10,000 rupees. Therefore, the provision for depreciation or accumulated depreciation on the plant should be closed. That's the idea. So, provision for depreciation account at 10,000. When the moment you debit provision for depreciation, you find the credit balance of provision for depreciation will come down by 10,000 rupees. That's an understanding. Then, to plant account 25,000. Now, what is missing in the debit side? We find there is a missing amount of 2,000 rupees, which is nothing but loss on sale of the plant. Because on the date of sale, the book value of the plant was 15,000, but it was sold only for 13,000. So there is a loss of 2,000 rupees, which is recorded with the name of adjusted profit and loss account debtor. Now, let us take only the second portion of this combined journal entry. What is this? Provision for depreciation account at 10,000 to plant account. Provision for depreciation account debtor to plant account 10,000. Now, from the opening balance of 50,000, if you separated 10,000 rupees, which is a provision for depreciation on the plant sold, what should have been the closing balance in the provision for depreciation account? 50,000 minus 10,000, the closing balance should have been 40,000 if no other activity has been carried out in relation to this account. But the actual balance is 85,000 rupees. Therefore, we find an increase of 45,000 rupees in the balance of provision for depreciation. That's nothing but current year provision for depreciation made. What is the journal entry for this particular transaction? Adjusted profit and loss account debtor to provision for depreciation account 45,000, 45,000. Perhaps this is a hidden information we have come to know preparing this ledger. And the next ledger account what I have opened is plant account at cost value. When you find provision for depreciation on a fixed asset maintained in an account, you always open that fixed asset account at its cost value. This is my way of solving cash flow statement problems. Fine. Plant account at cost. This is being an asset. You write the opening balance in the debit side at its cost value. To balance brought down, the book value is 2 lakh rupees. The opening provision for depreciation is 50,000. Therefore, the total of the two comes to 2,50,000. That is the opening cost value of plant. Then similarly, the closing cost value of plant by balance 1,40,000 book value plus the closing balance in the provision for depreciation amounted 85,000. The total cost value of the plant at the end of the year comes to 2,25,000. Now let us do posting of this combined journal entry in the plant account. Yes, cash account debtor, provision for depreciation on plant account debtor, adjusted profit and loss account debtor to plant account. That's what. So we have made posting of this particular journal entry. Now if you look at the plant account, it gets tallied exactly with the total of 2,50,000, 2,50,000. Therefore, there is no other hidden information with regard to plant account. Now let's get into the final ledger account related to this particular problem. What is that? Adjusted profit and loss account. Profit being a credit balance, let's write the opening balance in the credit side. By balance brought down, to balance carried out. That's written. Now let us do posting of the entries related to adjusted P&L account that we can derive from the ledger accounts we have opened first. Now see, look at it. Adjusted profit and loss account debtor to provision for depreciation account. Adjusted profit and loss account debtor to provision for depreciation account is done. Now adjusted profit and loss account entered to plant account, and that is also, this is for loss on sale of plant 2000, that is also entered. Now if you look at the liability side to know the items like general reserve, things like that which will affect the adjusted profit and loss account, you won't find any such item here. Therefore, let us go through the asset side. Do you find any intangible assets like goodwill, patents or things like that? We don't find any such items. Therefore, let's get into the adjustments. The first information is not to be recorded there. As I said, it has to be ignored. And the second information is related to the sale of a plant, which is already channelized through the plant account and provision for depreciation on plant account, and the due entry has been made for it in the adjusted P&L account. And this is the third information with regard to opening and closing balance of a provision for depreciation account. Therefore, now we are ready for closing the adjusted profit and loss account. What is that? If you close it, you find a balancing figure in the credit side amounted 1,07,000 rupees, which is nothing but funds from operations. I don't want to call it as operating profit because we have done due adjustment for depreciation, which is one of the operating expenses. That's what very important. Of course, in this problem, it is only provision for depreciation, but I don't want to name it as operating profit before working capital changes. Now let's get into the details of the cash flow statement as per accounting standard 3 under indirect method I have prepared. The first category of cash flows are named to be cash flow from operating activities. The first item written here is the funds from operations or adjusted profit before working capital changes. With that, I have done adjustments for the changes in the values of current assets and current liabilities. Now I have recorded all this here in simple way. If you want me to explain, increase in the current asset leads to cash outflow. Decrease in the current asset leads to cash inflow. Increase in the current liability leads to cash inflow. Decrease in the current liability leads to cash outflow. Following the four formula, I have recorded the changes in the values of current assets and current liabilities, excluding cash and bank balances. Now, what is the result of all this? It comes to 1,04,000 rupees, a positive value, which is nothing but cash generated from operating activities. The second category of cash flows is nothing but cash flow from investing activities. Here we will be recording the changes in the values of non-current assets or fixed assets. In this problem, we have plant as one of the non-current assets. Do we find any sale or purchase of plant? Yes, check it out. We have sold plant for a value of 13,000. There is no purchase. So let us first record the sale of plant. Sale of plant is nothing but cash inflow, 13,000 rupees. That's why it is written without bracket. Now let us get into the next non-current asset, buildings. Opening 1,10,000, closing 1,50,000. Therefore, they have bought building for a value of 40,000 rupees during the current year, which is a cash outflow, and that's why it is written within bracket. Now, what is the net result of cash flows from investing activities? It's nothing but 27,000 rupees, a negative value, which could be named as cash used in investing activities. Now, the third category of cash flows is named to be cash flows from financing activities, where we will be recording the changes in capital and non-current liabilities. Fine. Now, with regard to shares, share capital, the opening value was 1,50,000, the closing is 1,75,000. Therefore, they have issued shares for a value of 25,000, which is a cash inflow under financing activity recorded as the first item. Fine. The next one is about loan from bank. The opening was 1,40,000, closing is 20,000. Therefore, they have repaid the loan from bank for a value of 1,20,000 rupees, which is a cash outflow that's recorded as a second item within bracket. And what is the next one? This is with regard to loan. Opening balance was nil, but closing balance is 25,000. What we can understand from this is that they have borrowed a new loan of 25,000 rupees from a financial corporation, which is a cash inflow through financing activity, and that's recorded. We don't find any other item like dividend paid to the shareholders, things like that in this problem. Therefore, let us close the third category of cash flows. The result of that comes to 70,000 rupees negative value, which could be named as cash used in financing activities. Now, what about the result of the three amounts? 1,04,000, a positive value, 27,000 a negative value, 70,000 rupees a negative value. The net result comes to 7,000 rupees of positive value, which could be finally named as net increase in cash held by the business during the year 2018. With that net increase in cash held, if you add the opening cash and bank balance, what is that? It's amounted 15,000 rupees. You get the closing cash balance of 22,000 rupees as the answer. See, check it out. 7,000 plus 15,000, it gives us 22,000 rupees, which is nothing but the closing balance of cash and bank. I hope I have done my lecture very quickly, but without compromising my explanation. And I'm sure that you all have understood my lecture on this particular problem and the related solution what I have done. Thanks for your time to watch this video. I'll meet you in another video. Bye for now, everyone. Good luck.